Hi everyone, I'm Bhumika Rathi. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, we are doing practices for competitive exams in which I'm going to cover your English grammar at the very first. And today we are continuing a topic, pronouns. So let's see the rules of pronoun that we are going to cover today. We are going to do today subject-verb agreement and how pronouns will be used in this. So let's see. Yes, the rule number 1 says the first subject connectors. So let's see. When the two subjects are joined by these words as well as with, along with, together with and not, in addition to, but, besides, except, rather than, accompanied by, like, unlike, no less than, nothing but. Whenever two subjects are joined by these one, so the possessive case, the possessive pronoun will be used according to the first subject in the sentence. So let's see the examples that we have. Rita, as well as her friends, has done her work. So here the first subject is Rita, not her friends. All right. So here, according to Rita, we will use the possessive. So according to that, we will use possessive pronoun. So here Rita is singular in form. So we will use singular pronoun over here. Rita is a female's name. So we will use her. All right. And one more thing I need to tell. In the rules of word, we will see this, but here I am telling you, Rita, as well as her friends, has done her work. So, Rita is singular, and according to that, we have used the singular verb over here. This is quite important. Many of you forget this in exam. So, let's see the second example that we have. My friend, Reena, along with her sister, is doing her job in Delhi. So, Reena is subject over here, the first subject. So, along with, I told you in these one. Then we have, according to Reena, we will use possessive pronoun over here. Reena is singular, so we will use possessive pronoun here. And is has been used as verb, you can see, since Reena is singular, so we will use singular form of verb over here. Now, moving on, we have rule number 2. This says the nearest subject connectors. Whenever in the sentence we have either or, neither or, not only, but also, none but. Whenever we can see these words in the sentence, the possessive case, the possessive pronoun will be used according to the nearest subject in the sentence. So let's see the examples that we have. Neither the staff members nor the manager was taking his task seriously. So here in this sentence you can see we have two subject. The staff members and the manager. So in the sentence we have neither and nor, as I told you here. So these words are quite important. You guys need to note down. As you can see, these words has been used. So we will use the nearest subject in the sentence. So which is the nearest subject? Manager. So we will use his. The possessive case, his will be used over here. One more thing is here, the verb here will be used, will be singular. Since the manager is singular in subject, so according to that we will use here singular form and singular form of verb will be used. Now moving on, we have rule number 3. Rule number 3 says indefinite singulars. Let's see. When each, every, neither, either, anyone is used as subject, the possessive case should be according to the third person, which is singular, and his will be used. This is very, very important. You guys need to memorize. Don't say this. Now let's see the example that we have. Neither of the two brothers has bought their luggage. So here are two brothers and neither of them has bought his luggage. As I told you, his will be used here. So whenever these one are used as subject, so the possessive case should be his, the singular one. Alright. Now let's see the second example that we have. Each one of us, so each has been used, as you can see. Each one of us is doing our duty properly. Or will not be used since each person can be seen over here. So we will use his instead of her. Each one of us is doing his duty properly. Now moving on, we have rule number 4. This is the same one that we have learned in nouns. The rules of nouns. So let's see again. Collective nouns when the group act as whole. Let's see. If a collective noun like jury, army, fleet, crew is used as subject of the sentence and it shows a sense of group which act as whole. So we will use the singular pronouns or the adjectives like it, its, itself, whenever required. So let's see the example that we have. The jury has given their verdict. Instead of using their, since the jury is behaving as a whole, so we will use its. The jury has given its verdict. One more important thing we have over here is has been used since the jury is acting as whole, so we will use the singular form of verb. Alright, now moving on, we have rule number 5, which is when the collective nouns in which they behave as separate individuals, so we will use plural pronouns or adjectives. Let's see. If a collective noun is used as a subject and it shows the sense of separate individuals like different members, then it is treated as plural. So the plural pronouns and plural adjectives like they, their, theirs, themselves will be used. So let's see in the examples that we have. The team are divided in its opinion. Instead of using its, we will use their. So let's see. The team are divided in their opinion. Since the team is behaving as separate individuals, so we will use the plural pronoun over here. Now let's see the rule number 6 that we have, the basic and rule. This is quite important. If two or more singular nouns are joined by and, then plural nouns or plural adjectives like they, them, their, theirs, themselves will be used. So let's see the example. Ram and Sham, these are the subjects that we have, and whenever they are joined by and, they behave as plural subject. So where will be used the plural pronoun? The plural pronoun will be used. So Ram and Sham do their work. All right. Now moving on, we have rule number 7. Let's see. One article means one person. If in the sentence singular nouns are joined by and, but the article is used only before the first noun. The article which is used only before first noun. So we will use the singular forms. He, him, his, himself, it, its, or itself. Let's see the examples. The secretary and treasurer is negligent of his duty. Here, as you can see, we have two singular nouns, but the article we can see over here is the, and only article has been used before the first noun. According to that, we will use here the singular form of pronoun. So it becomes the secretary and the treasurer is negligent of his duty. And one more important thing you can see here is we have used the singular form of verb. Now let's see the rule number 8 that we have. Two articles we have. So whenever two articles are using, so it represents two people. All right. Now let's see the example. If two singular nouns are joined by and each noun has an article before it, it shows two different persons. All right. This is quite important. They use plural like they, them, their. Let's see the example. The secretary and the treasurer. So here we have two nouns, two singular nouns, and each is acting singular in form. Why so? That has been used here and that has been used here. The article has been used with both. All right. So they are behaving as two separate individuals. So we will use the plural form of pronoun over here. So the secretary and the treasurer did not do their work themselves. So we will not use like his over here, since we have the treasurer, the secretary. If we have the secretary and we don't have the over here, treasurer, so we can use his. But that has been used with each of them. So we will use the plural form. All right. Now let's see the rule number 9 that we have, the distributed and. Let's see. If two or more singular nouns are joined by and each or every has been used before each singular noun with the first and the second, then the singular pronoun or the singular adjective and the singular verb are used, not the plural one will be used. So I told you the first noun and the second noun, and they have been joined by and conjunction. And also before the first noun we have every or the word each. Similarly with the second one, before that we have every or each. So along with that we will use the singular verb, the singular pronoun, singular adjective. All right. Now let's see the example. Every soldier and every sailor was in their place. So there cannot be used. Was the verb is correct, but the pronoun used over here is wrong. So let's see the correct form. Every soldier and every sailor was in his place. So here soldier is the first noun that you can see, and sailor is the second noun that we have here. And before that we have used every, and also here we have used every. So we will use the singular verb over here, as you can see, and singular. All right. Now, so moving on to the next rule that we have. Last rule, the are many rule. This is quite important. Yes. Whenever we have many, when many are or n, along with many we have a or n. So, and it is used with singular noun as the subject of a sentence. So the singular noun and the singular adjective will be used. Let's see an example. Many a soldier has met his death on the battlefield. So many are, you can see here, and soldier is behaving as singular noun over here, and has been used, which is singular verb over here, and his, which is singular pronoun over here, has been used. All right, like this way we will use all of them. All right, now let's see the summary or the cheat sheet, you can say. This is quite important. So the first one we have seen, as well as, along with, and many more we have, you can see in the above. So first subject, according to first subject in the sentence, we will use the pronoun, okay, which is matching to the first subject, whether it's male or female, whether it's plural or singular. All right, according to the first subject in the sentence, we will use according to the first subject we will use the pronoun. All right, then we have either or, neither. So nearest subject in the sentence, the nearest subject, according to that we will use the pronoun. All right, then we have the third one, each, every, many, are, or n. So always use singular. They're always used in singular, and the pronoun used here will be his or it. Then we have collective nouns. Let's see. Collective nouns, whenever the group is behaving as unity, we will use it. All right. And whenever the group is behaving as division, like individual is behaving separately, so we will use they. And this is quite important, the articles, the, x and y. Whenever the first noun, we have used the article the, so it is one person, and we will use the singular pronoun over here. In the sentence, if we have x and the y, the has been used twice along with the first and the second subject, so we will it will behave as two people in the sentence, and according to that we will use the plural form. All right, this is all for today. Meet in the next video with new rules. Thank you.